Why, hello, welcome to 2025, etc. New year, new comic. What are we looking at today? It's Agony by Mark Beyer. I don't know how I found this comic, or I didn't. This is the first time I've read this guy. Um, taught artist, blah blah blah, etc. All right. I think this first came out in 1987. Yeah. Colson Whitehead, who's an author I haven't read, did some introduction that I didn't read. So I'm just going to skip that, get right into it. I think when I saw this guy, I don't know, I just liked the art kind of right away because it's just so naive, and the main purpose isn't really to be the most incredible art, obviously, of all time. But I mean, obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into it. This is like a very, a lot of work. But it's simple drawings, and I loved it. I thought it was very cool. I like how each page is usually just one panel, and it seems like the story is just kind of made up as it went along, which I liked. I feel like he had no idea what was going to happen in the next panel or the next page or whatever, and it's just like this couple that is go through all these travails and have all these weird little adventures that are increasingly horrific in their lives, and they go to this island to live with these natives, but the natives attack them. And so yeah, a lot of wonderful design though. I love the relentless lines, intense lines, vague attempts at perspective. Maybe not vague attempts, but just not like the most proficient perspective. But I don't know. It just, to me, it looks like very much like art 1,000 years ago, or 2,000 years ago, or 3,000 years ago, and I think that's what I appreciate about it. It's very, it's both very disciplined and both very throwaway at the same time. Uh, the dialogue is kind of funny too. It's like they're usually just kind of narrating their own stories about what's happening. I stole some bottles of sulfuric acid from the hospital supply room. Now I'm going to take a bath in it and end my miserable, pathetic life once and for all. Don't do it, Amy. Yeah, even though it's like 180 pages, I think I read through it in about 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something. My head keeps getting larger and larger. It must be an infection that set in, a complication as a result of my surgery. So in that sense, it kind of reminds me of like some old, maybe woodcuts, like from 200 years ago, perhaps. The laws of physics and even the laws of narrative possibilities are kind of discarded. The man and the woman are in the same prison together, even though that usually doesn't happen. Uh, yeah. So I'd love to read more by this guy. I thought it was very fun, very disposable, and in some ways, it's like what a lot of great art does for me is it makes me want to make art, even though I probably draw this poorly too. But I shouldn't say poorly because that makes it sound like I'm attacking the artist, and I think it's not poorly. It's just more naive and less traditionally academically taught art. Um, like things like this. It looks almost like the perspective of the way a fourth grader would draw a perspective. But I love the patterns and the design and the overall feel of this world that doesn't seem to be like ours, but it is in a lot of ways. It's like it's like Seinfeld. If Seinfeld was even more horrific and dark and fantasy infused, it's like a show about nothing, a comic about nothing, but things do happen, and there's it seems like money is a constant theme throughout this. Like people are always, or they're always worrying about money, and things are like their hospital bills are driving them to extreme situations in the narrative possibilities. So yeah, I thought it was fun. Mark Beyer, 1987, Agony. Check it out. It's the sort kind of illiteracy, literate illiteracy or illiterate literacy that I enjoy nowadays. Maybe one day I'll read the Colson Whitehead introduction, but probably not because there's just too many words.